Our first guest is a political impressionist, I think one of the finest in the world, actually, and he's appeared several times on The Tonight Show, Larry King Live, and even for one of his own comedy subjects, George Bush. Will you welcome, please, Jim Morris. Jim, how are you? Sit down. Jim, thanks for being here.
Nice
Boy,
to
I know
be here
this
with you.
may be a far cry from the White House, but welcome anyway.
I like the way you handled it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I like the way you handled the thing, the critic of yours there. And I just like to say, I support you. I support each and every one of you. And, you know, I have to wear this hat because I just don't look as much like Bush as I did as Reagan. Reagan I did for 8 years, and I never knew when I was going to slip into it. I was in the middle of making love one night. All of a sudden, in the middle of everything, come on, make an old man happy, please.
What a horrifying image. Hey, just be glad the woman didn't start doing Nancy Reagan. Okay, the point is, Jim.
Well, she was on top, and... well, everybody knows that I enjoy screwing up, so... well, anyway, those days are long gone, and now I'm playing someone a little closer to my own age.
Yeah.
I suppose. Actually, George Bush and I have the same birthday. It's really incredible. The same birthday. I met him, and, you know, these are the exact same frames that George Bush wears. I did my research. And
those are from Lens Crafters, $49.95, aren't they?
I guess I got
another
ripped
pair.
off.
You get two pairs.
I got him on a special deal with the $600 toilet seats at the Pentagon. So I said, Mr. President, these are the same frames that you wear. He took off his, and he's going, oh, how about that? I said, we have something else in common. We're both 6'2". And he said, how about that? I said, we got something else in common, Mr. President. What is that? Ask me when my birthday is. No. Yep, June 12th, 1924. Get me there, Mr. President. He's always wearing different kind of hats, you know.
Yeah, it's like he's like this sports thing all of a sudden. He wants to be like a regular guy. He's the president. The hat doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference, but I like to show my support for Operation Desert Storm and the good, brave Americans out there. How are you? I support you all. After all, it's a bipartisan... I like what you're doing here. We want to see a bipartisan effort. Doesn't matter whether we're black or Asian or Hispanic or even others on the fringe, including women. It doesn't matter. I support you all. It's good to see you here. See, once you get me into character, I'm just glad I didn't have to do Mr. Dukakis for 4 years. That would have been a real trick.
Yeah, well, you would have had to have that eyebrow job and everything. But then again, you could also do Brooke Shields, so it kind of worked out.
My friends, if you happen to be the son of Greek immigrants, came to this land looking for economic opportunity, a land where their boy could grow up to perform miracles, marry a Jewish girl, and one day grow up to learn to speak Spanish, yo soy uno de ustedes. I am one of you. Hey. We don't, as I said in the debate there, we don't need a president who speaks Spanish. We need a president who can talk gibberish. I am that man.
Now, you performed George Bush for George Bush, right?
Yeah, on 3 different occasions. It was really something.
It had to be pretty scary.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was daunting. That's the word, daunting. Because after the performance, the first time, some official-looking guy comes up to me, Mr. Morris, yes? The president would like to see you now, and I figured that was the end of my citizenship.
That's some principle.
Yeah, so well, that's how I started out, doing my principal in school.
Is that right?
Every impressionist has a similar story of how they started imitating. For me, it was always authority figures, and now it's the president of the United States. Back then, it was principal in the school. I got on the public address system and dismissed the whole class early in his class.
That's great. God, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, so what happened when you met Bush? Was he flattered, or was he?
Yeah, he was.
Or was he just being polite, like seriously?
Well, no. He and Barbara said, we want to follow your career. I said, with your background in the CIA, I don't think you'll have any trouble following my career. But he's a nice guy. He has a good sense of humor about himself. He can laugh about himself, you know. He can laugh at himself, which is very handy these days.
Because the rest of us are laughing at him anyway.
Yeah,
so what?
I wouldn't trade places with him for anything. It's a tough job. I mean, but of course, certainly. My sleeves are rolled up, my hand is still extended, but my middle finger's starting to twitch. Let's get moving.
Well, now, with all the events that are going on in the world, it's changing so rapidly. We got this thing going on now. That's got to affect what you do in a big way. Do you find it helpful or harmful? Because on one hand, it gives you a lot of new opportunities, but on the other hand, you write a piece of material, next day it's over.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's not over, you know, Armageddon or anything like Well, Armageddon out of here right now. If that's the case, oh, Mr. President, just go back to sleep. What? Am I still president? No, it helps. It definitely helps in the sense that everything is immediate. We're being inundated with facts over and over again. Everybody's watching the news, so it's a very explosive time to do comedy. And yeah, maybe the joke will only last a couple of days, but that's the challenge, to be right there, to be on target and funny. And it's a good question. I mean, I remember I was doing a one-man show in New York when the Panama invasion took place. And there I was in a cab listening to the radio as I was on the way to the theater, and I knew something the audience didn't. And there's the question. Do I come out and announce the invasion of Panama, or do I, you know, and not get any laughs, or I announced it, I got laughs. Who would have believed, right? Operation Just Cause. Why did we call it that? Just Cause. I don't know. But we're seeing an awful lot of our newscasters nowadays, and
that's right. You do the biggies. You do Ted Koppel.
Ted Koppel. Joining us, and I must caution our affiliates, we will be running a little long. Stay tuned to many of these ABC stations for the premiere episode of My Favorite General, starring Jonathan Winters as Norman Schwarzkopf.
So we never know what we're going to see. I was actually over at the CBS network in New York, you know, on the west side there, and it was really something. It's like a war room. I mean, everything revolves around Dan Rather, and he's sitting there in the desk, and the cameras are all over him, and there's this retired general over there with his map and the pointer, just waiting, salivating. This guy who's just glad to have a job again. You know, when I first saw that RET period, I thought it stood for retarded. You know, I didn't. I forget what his name is, and then Dan Rather's sitting there on the phone, rocking back and forth, and I figure I was really in the middle of this. This is the war room. This people passing papers and stuff, and Dan Rather sitting there on the phone. Yes. Right. Yes. Is this 9702? Just a surreal atmosphere.
You work in some unbelievable rooms. You work the war room. You work the White House, the press corps. What happened? That's a tough gig. What happens when you get a heckler and it turns out to be like, Henry Kissinger? I think you suck. You suck.
We're going to do. Can you imagine him as a stand-up comedian? I love taking people out of context like that. Like Julia Child. Could you see her running the? Well, marvelous. Here we are. Saddam Hussein. Saddam backwards is mad-ass. Why don't you get the thermometer? Yeah. Imagine her as a stand-up comedian. Well, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, because I chopped its little head off and know where the hell it's going.
Hey, how would former President Reagan handle the situation of the events of today?
Well, well, first I would form a commission to study there is war in the Gulf. Well, I'm sure that those Mexicans must be peeved. I know. Well, of course, I have a new commercial coming out now. Could I do it for the folks at home?
Certainly.
Hi, folks. Remember me? Ronald Reagan. Well, when I was president of the United States, I had an awful problem with leaks. Well,
Today's no different. That's why I wear these. Depend undergarments. And so should you for your very own personal pea shield. Because you never know when. There you go again.
Jim Morris, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being here. Thank you. We'll be right back with Steve Kravitz. Don't go away. Welcome back to Comics Only. I'm just looking through here for Jim Morris's act next week. He's always on top of the news. You know, I don't know if you enjoy reading the comics in the newspapers as much as I do, but I just love them, especially this particular one. This is like, you know, the one about the family? This is about every family, just like yours at home. It's so just typical family life. This one is, it's called Dysfunctional Family Circus. Didn't I see today's? Hey, why don't you make yourself useful for a change? Run get Mommy some more vodka. I'm going to cut that out, put it on my refrigerator. Just like every household growing up. My next guest has had a very, very busy year. He's been on Comic Strip Live. He's been appeared in Rolling Stone magazine. He's been on MTV. He's been in 6 or 7 detoxes, 3 rehabs. He just got out of jail. Welcome, Steve Kravitz, ladies and gentlemen. Steve.
What?
Try the door, Steve.
The door? Is that how you get into buildings? Oh, new behavior. Hey, how are you? How is everybody? How is everybody? Nice to see you.
Have a seat.
Sit down. Hey, if this
You know, we don't get many felons here on Comics
you know,
Only.
if this was covered in plastic, I'd feel like I was at my grandma's house. This is beautiful. Let me just lie down. Hello, I don't like my mother.
Okay. Nice outfit, Steve.
Thank you so much.
You say you or me? I can't.
Hey! Had a little stool in my vomit. Besides that, I'm not so bad. Is that a bad
Enjoy
thing?
your dinner, folks.
Eat up, eat up. Here, I brought 1 lollipop. Take a lick, pass it on. Go ahead, here. Knock yourself. Look, he hates me. He's going, oh, make me laugh, little Jew, I dare you. I'm not even Jewish. I had my nose fixed to get into medical school. Relax.
Steve.
What? I'm being interrogated by aliens. Please, leave me alone. Hi.
A man just waiting for a heavy metal band to break out.
Yes.
How are you? Where you been, traveling?
Oh, I was in Hawaii. Hey, mahalo. Yeah, bought a pineapple on layaway while I was there. That was nice. Went snorkeling. You ever done that snorkeling?
I scuba dive, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, snorkeling, that's where they give you that tube so the water goes directly to your lungs. Speeds up the whole drowning process. Oh, living my dreams. And I tried the scuba diving. That's where they put 80 pounds of crap on your back and then they throw you in the ocean. Oh, yeah. They go, look at the dolphins, jump in. Hey, those are sharks. I'm not getting near that water. But I was on Maui. You ever been there, that Maui?
No, I never got to Maui.
Anybody been to Maui, man? Yeah? You go on top of that crater to watch the sunrise? They make you. They slap you out of bed about 4 a.m. Get up there, have a good time. Mahalo. Which means eat death, white boy. I don't know if you know that part. It's 10,000 feet above sea level. See, what they don't tell you is 10,000 feet is cold. See, I'm in Hawaii. I haven't got a clue. I'm in tank tops, cut off, open-air Jeep. You know, I've been drinking rum for 3 days, right? I think I'm a pirate by now, right? I got a straw hat on. Why don't you just put Pinhead right here, making an ensemble? Each elevation sign we pass gets a little colder, and my garbanzos recede a little further up into my stomach. You know what I'm saying?
Now, the garbanzo.
Yeah, garbanzos. I think...
Is that a term from medical school?
Yeah, from medical school. By the time we got to the top, it was so cold it looked like I had the mumps. You know what I'm saying? They're all going, look at the sunrise. I'm going, ah!
Oh, that's very cold.
So I make friends wherever I go, I think is my point.
Were you working in Hawaii?
Yeah, oh yeah. What do you think?
Now, that's a great gig, Hawaii. That's better than going to some godforsaken hillbilly
I was in
town.
Louisiana recently. Louisiana, yeah. I was there for the big Jew hunt. I was the Jew they were hunting. They put me on one of them little airplanes, you know, it's like a tube sock with wings, you know, off it goes. I kept looking out the window. I thought there'd be a guy with a string going, and I had some crawfish and some alligator, and I wanted to call my cousin up for a date when I was done eating for some reason.
That's great. That's great.
Hi, how is everybody? I'm the happy comic.
You spend enough time down there, you get your own trailer and bowling
Oh,
league.
yeah, my own trailer, marry a woman named Dot, and eat macaroni and cheese. Live my dream. Change my name to Bubba Stein, biggest Jew in Arkansas.
What do you do? What do you do when you're not working on?
Oh, you know, I'm a big sports guy. I like to bowl. Except when I bowl, though, I like to bowl overhand. That way they give me a lot of room at the lane. Huh. Bowling, that's a sport you got to stay in shape for, huh? Oh, you got to work out. You roll a ball, you drink a beer, you smoke a cigarette, you sit down. Boy. You roll a ball, you drink a beer, you smoke a cigarette. Whoa, I got to sit down. I'm exhausted. Whoa, is that sweat? Eventually, you don't even roll the ball. You say, look, I'm drinking. I got the shoes on. Leave me alone. Get out of here. And they got bowling on TV. Rounds out my Saturday afternoon, Paul. They have slow motion instant replay. What could you possibly miss? The ball hit the pins. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Now, you know,
Go ahead, ask.
you don't look like the average comic.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
What are you implying? What are you getting at?
I'm saying.
Don't make me come and sit in that chair.
When people walk down the street,
Yeah.
when you walk down the street, people don't look and go, "Oh, there's Cosby." You know, it's more
No,
like,
he's a black guy.
"Oh, there's
Man, he's a colored fella.
Poor choice of words, if I may be so bold.
Oh, man.
But no, I mean, you
no,
know, you
people
don't
think I do drugs. You know,
Yeah.
drugs. Oh yeah, cocaine. Well, you spend $1,000 a week, you don't eat a thing. Had a salty last Thursday. I'm stuffed. Thanks anyway. Trying to get down to my original weight, 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Marijuana, you spend $40 a week, $1,000 on food. Yeah, give me everything in aisle 3 and don't forget the Fruit Loops. I'm walking back to the car. Dude, I got friends that smoke pot. I got friends. You know, they smoke. What did you do today? Well, I smoked a couple of joints. Yeah, but I mean, what'd you do? Well, I smoked a couple of joints. Yeah, but I mean, did you do anything? I rolled them. Whoa! You must be exhausted. Let's see if bowling's on.
Hey, do you get in trouble with cops?
Me?
Yeah, I mean, they see you. Do they just figure,
man.
crack dealer, get him?
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know, I live my dreams. Actually, you know what's weird now? We have cops on bicycles. Ho ho, that's a threat. And some of them want to be motorcycle cops because they got the playing cards and the spokes to make the noise there. I just drive up next to them, kick them over. What are they gonna do?
We'll be right back after we check Steve's rap.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. That's all right. Great.